Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. So, guys, the Cleveland Browns, a team with such a rich history in the NFL, have once again found themselves at the center of controversy and debate among fans and analysts alike. And honestly, it's hard not to feel a mixture of frustration and curiosity about what's happening with this franchise. You see, the Browns are currently navigating one of the most turbulent periods in recent memory, and their latest move, signing quarterback Tyler Huntley, has ignited a firestorm of reactions across social media and among NFL fans in general. And trust me, this isn't just about a signing. It's about what this could mean for the future of Cleveland's quarterback room and ultimately their chances of competing at the highest level. Now, to understand the significance of this move, let's rewind a little and look at the current situation. The Browns, as many of you know, already have a crowded quarterback room, with 4 quarterbacks competing for that single starting spot. It's a situation that's already complicated, but what makes it even more perplexing is the recent string of injuries to their QBs. Kenny Pickett, who, remember, was supposed to be a key piece for Cleveland, has been sidelined with a hamstring injury. Dylan Gabriel, another promising quarterback in the mix, is also nursing a hamstring. And then there's Shedeur Sanders, who's been dealing with a sore shoulder. It's a bit of a perfect storm, and the Browns clearly felt the need to add another arm to the mix. That's where Tyler Huntley comes into play. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Browns are bringing Huntley in, a guy who's had some NFL experience, albeit limited, but enough to raise eyebrows. Huntley, for those who might not be fully familiar, played in 5 games with the Miami Dolphins during the 2025 NFL season. His stats, not eye-popping but not terrible either. He completed 7% of his passes for 829 yards with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Not the kind of numbers that turn heads, but what does stand out is his rushing ability. Huntley rushed for 135 yards on 26 carries, averaging 5.2 yards per carry, and scored 2 rushing touchdowns. He's a mobile quarterback, someone who can extend plays and add a different dimension to Cleveland's offense. At least, that's the hope. And here's where things get really interesting or frustrating, depending on your perspective. Fans, as always, had a lot to say about this move. On social media, the reactions ranged from bewilderment to outright outrage. Some fans took to Twitter to express their disbelief, with comments like "Browns are a complete joke," and 4 QBs and they're now signing a 5th. Others questioned the logic behind it, with some joking that the Browns might need to be drug-tested after the signing. It's a typical NFL fan reaction, filled with sarcasm and skepticism, especially when a franchise seems to be circling the drain or making questionable decisions. But let's take a step back and analyze what this really means. Cleveland, as of now, has 5 quarterbacks on the roster. That's an unusual number for any NFL team, especially one that's supposed to be trying to find stability under center. The Browns' current starting quarterback situation is already fragile, with injuries and inconsistent performances. Adding Huntley to the mix might seem like a desperate attempt to cover all bases, but it also raises questions about the franchise's long-term vision. Is this a move to compete this season? Or is it a sign that Cleveland is already preparing for a future without a clear franchise quarterback? Because, let's be honest, the way things are trending, that might be the more realistic scenario. And speaking of that future, the NFL landscape for Cleveland looks pretty bleak at the moment. The offense has struggled to find consistency, and with the current QB situation, it's hard to see them making a real playoff push this year. The Browns' offensive line has had its moments, but the quarterback play has often been inconsistent, and injuries only exacerbate that problem. If you look at the roster and the recent performances, it's clear that Cleveland's franchise quarterback, the guy who can elevate the entire team, isn't currently on the roster. Many fans and analysts believe that the next true franchise QB will likely emerge from the 2026 NFL Draft, which is expected to be loaded with talent at the position. But of course, the question remains, will head coach Kevin Stefanski and general manager Andrew Berry be able to develop that next franchise quarterback? Or will they continue to shuffle through backups and stopgap solutions like Huntley? That's the million-dollar question. The signs aren't exactly promising, especially with moves that seem to be reactive rather than strategic. Signing Huntley, a player who hasn't played much recently and is coming in amidst injuries, feels like a patch rather than a solution. It's almost like Cleveland is spinning their wheels, hoping somehow that this patchwork will hold. What's even more concerning is the perception among fans that the Browns are sabotaging Shedeur Sanders, who is supposed to be a bright spot and a potential future star. The narrative that Cleveland is undermining or stifling Shedeur's development only fuels the frustration. As it stands, the Browns are under immense pressure to get this right, not just for this season but for the franchise's future. The team's history is already filled with missed opportunities and questionable decisions, and this latest move only adds fuel to the fire. Now, looking at the bigger picture, if this trend continues, there's a real risk that Cleveland could end up as one of the worst teams in the NFL once again this year. The offense, with this QB carousel and injury issues, might struggle mightily to score points. And if that happens, the focus will inevitably shift to the 2026 NFL Draft, where many believe Cleveland will find their next true franchise quarterback. It's a gamble, for sure, but it's also a necessary step if the Browns want to break free from their cycle of mediocrity and missteps. And to be honest, the entire NFL community is watching. The Browns are a franchise with a passionate fan base, a storied history, and the potential to be great again. But right now, they're caught in a cycle of uncertainty and questionable decisions that threaten to set them back even further. The signing of Tyler Huntley, while perhaps a short-term band-aid, highlights the larger issues at play. A team searching for stability, for identity, and for that elusive franchise quarterback. Whether or not Huntley will be part of Cleveland's plans in the long run remains to be seen, but what's clear is that the Browns are once again at a crossroads. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. With the NFL landscape evolving rapidly, teams like Cleveland that are desperate for stability and success are willing to try just about anything. Sometimes, that leads to bold moves. Other times, it results in more questions and doubts. The Browns' management, led by Berry and Stefanski, will need to navigate these waters carefully. They have to decide whether to double down on developing their current roster or to look ahead to the draft for that next franchise quarterback. And with the way things are trending, it's understandable that fans are feeling anxious, even frustrated, because the clock is ticking and the window for success is closing fast. Despite all this chaos, Cleveland fans are known for their resilience. They've seen their share of heartbreaks, but also moments of glory. Remember the 1980s and early 2000s when the Browns were playoff contenders? Or the times when they almost made it to the Super Bowl? Those moments keep the fanbase alive, hoping for a resurgence. And maybe, just maybe, this current turmoil is part of a larger plan, even if it's hard to see right now. Sometimes, teams have to go through these rough patches to come out stronger on the other side. To wrap up, the signing of Tyler Huntley is more than just a roster move. It's a reflection of where Cleveland is right now, a franchise in search of stability, trying to find its identity in a league that's constantly evolving. It's a move that has sparked debate, frustration, but also hope for some fans who believe that maybe, just maybe, this is a step towards something bigger. The Browns have always been a team filled with potential, and despite the setbacks, the passion in Cleveland remains unwavering. So as we watch this story unfold, one thing is certain. The next few weeks will be crucial for Cleveland. Will they find that quarterback stability they desperately need? Will they finally turn the page and start building for the future? Or will they continue to stumble through this confusing phase? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, Cleveland Browns fans, your team is at a pivotal moment, and the entire NFL is watching closely. Keep the faith, stay loud, and remember, no matter what, Cleveland will always be a team worth fighting for. And trust me, the best is yet to come. Now, as we look ahead, let's keep an eye on how this quarterback situation develops, how the coaching staff adapts, and whether the Browns can finally find that spark to elevate them back into playoff contention. Because if there's one thing history has shown us, it's that Cleveland never gives up, and neither do its fans. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's see what's next for this roller coaster of a franchise. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think signing Huntley is a smart move, or is it just another sign of the franchise's turmoil? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Because no matter what happens, we are here to keep you informed, engaged, and ready for whatever comes next in this incredible NFL journey.